Hello brew tubers and welcome to this little grain into glass video. Going to be brewing an experimental brew in this video, which is called Pennsylvanian Swankey. It's a recipe from the 18th century, Pennsylvania, as you can guess by the name. So very early on in American history. Nice little local link, William Penn, who founded the state and after whom the state is named, lived in Rickmansworth, which is where I grew up, which is about 4 miles down the road. So yeah, nice little link there. So yes, very old recipe, only making a demijohn, 1 gallon's worth. The recipe is unusual. It was sent to me by a friend who watched a video on YouTube and sort of half commissioned me to make this beer, so this is the result. Yeah, so the recipe as I've translated it for a gallon is 4 to 5 star anise, clovers, whatever you call them, and about a tablespoon of aniseed, crushed up. Then about 1.5 cups of wheat bran. Now I've substituted that for wheat malt because I don't have any wheat bran. That makes about 1 kilo and 70 grams worth, thereabouts. 20 grams thereabouts of hops, about a handful. Going to be using these Kent Goldings because that's what I've got open at the moment. And then about 300 grams of sugar syrup. I did contemplate making invert sugar, but I'm not. I was going to make some syrup up with some just table sugar and water, I think. So yeah, farm garden Kvike yeast to ferment with because that's quick and farmhousey. So it should be interesting. Now the method is, from a brewing point of view, unorthodox. Literally, you put everything in a bowl, in a pot, boil it, and then filter it, strain it, and put it in a demijohn. Add some sugar syrup, whatever it's called, add the yeast. So no mashing, just lots of boiling. Probably won't bother taking hydrometer readings for this, since it's an experimental batch. But yeah, it might be nice, might be bloody rotten, who knows. That's why I'm only making a gallon of it, so if it does turn out to be rotten, I haven't lost much. So yes, let's get on with it. Right, so in this bowl we've got the 5 star anise and 2 tablespoons of aniseed. So I'm just going to crush it up with this crusher. It just wants to be broken up rather than turned into a powder, just to release the flavours. It smells like lovely licorice in here. No, that should about do it, I think. So I'm just going to add the crushed aniseed and star anise to the wheat malt. And so, like that. Probably do with a bigger bowl. This is all I've got to use at the moment. So, and in goes 47 grams of East Kent Goldings. I was going to put 20 grams in, but well, didn't seem quite enough. So 47 grams was all I had left in the packet. So that's what's gone in. And then yes, I'll get a heat on and stir it in. A little whisk in here. Am I recording? Good. Right then. So just adding the first bit of water, boiling water. I've got a little whisk here to whisk it up with. I could probably do with a bigger pot really, but I haven't got much choice at the moment, so. I've just combined the sugar mixture in with the rest of the gloop, grist, oil, whatever you want to call it. So give us another 5 minutes and then I'll filter it into the demijohn. Right, so the plan is to use that ladle there just to put it through that filter and yes, extract the juices. And use the old kettle there, just sort of like a sparge technique, just to try and get rid of as many sugars as possible from the grist. So here is the finished result from yesterday's brew day. As you can see, it's sort of split into two parts, a sort of a clearer liquid on the top and all the crap at the bottom. I did run it through a sieve, but perhaps I needed to use something like a muslin cloth or something just to get rid of all that debris. So I might not end up with as much as I first anticipated. Framgarden Kvike yeast has been pitched. It was 1.035 on the hydrometer when I measured it. It took ages to cool down though. Didn't sort of really finish until midnight. Gone midnight just about, so yeah, it took a long time to cool down to a reasonable temperature. Interesting sort of brew day, very odd, very unusual. Sort of ended up with a big porridgey mix, which I ladled into the sieve and sort of sparged with some boiling water. Very sticky. The wheat malt seemed to retain a lot of moisture. I probably overdid it with the hops as well, I reckon. I mean, 47 grams for a 1 gallon batch with a 45-minute boil. I think I might have overdone it there, but we shall see, we shall see. I'm very keen to try modernising this recipe, so mashing it in the usual fashion, say 2 kilograms of pale malt Marisotto or a lager malt, 2 kilos of wheat malt, dozen or so star anise crushed, a couple of tablespoons of aniseed, and then some hops, something like Fuggles or East Kent Goldings, or yeah, something very sort of early on and traditional, that sort of thing. Probably Goldings like I use in this. But yeah, I think it's got potential to be modernised. Yeah, I mean it's bubbling away quite nicely now, so it's obviously got some sugars to drink, but I reckon it might turn out a little bit too bitter from the excessive quantity of hops I put in it. But that was my silly mistake. Yeah, we'll see what it's like. When I come around to serving it next week, I might do it two ways. First off, probably serve it like they had it, in a jug, flat, perhaps chilled slightly, and wouldn't mind force carbing a little bit of it as well, and serving that chilled, see what it's like, sort of carbonated. So yeah, might do a side by side of that. But yeah, we'll give this a week and then come back to it and see what it's like. So the Pennsylvanian Swankey has been fermenting for a week, which was roughly what the video said it should be fermenting for. I used the Fremgarden Kvike yeast. That's what we ended up with. I've got two of these. The rest is all trub and rubbish, really. So yes, I poured myself a little sample out. I'm already expecting this to be too bitter from the 40 or 50 odd grams of East Kent Goldings I chucked into it. That was probably a little bit of a mistake. Anyway, on the nose, very creamy licorice, so it's like that aniseed, star anise smell. Really comes through very strongly. It actually smells very good. It smells very good. Taste. Too much bitter hop, for sure. But oh God. Yeah. I can see the potential. There is a really nice aniseed, star anise, licorice taste to it. No shadow of a doubt. I've just overbittered it with overhopped it. Far too many hops in there. God, I could barely drink that. Yes, a really sharp twang at the end of the taste. Too many hops. Bloody stupid bastard I am. No, I actually think I might throw up if I have any more. So, if it weren't for this Muppet here, it probably would have turned out quite well. Too many hops. Too many hops. So, I'm going to try brewing it again, perhaps tomorrow, but I'm going to fully modernise the recipe. So I'm going to do 1.5 kilos of Marisotto malt, 1.5 kilos of wheat malt, 15 or 20 grams of bittering hops, East Kent Goldings again, and then about 15 grams of 10-minute addition hops. This will be for a 21 litre brew. Then about a dozen star anise and about a cupful of aniseed. Let's say probably about 10 tablespoons of aniseed, something like that. So 10 star anise, 10 tablespoons of aniseed. I think that should be good. So hopefully that should make about 3.4% beer, and fingers crossed it'll be light and refreshing. This experiment has been a failure because I had too many hops, but there was some nice refreshing taste in there before the overwhelming hoppy bitterness whacked you around the head with a mallet. So swings and roundabouts really. I will try brewing this in the method I just mentioned. and we'll see what that turns out like. I think that should make a nice, refreshing sort of beer, which is what I was aiming for. This, however, hasn't worked. Oh well. Thank you very much for watching this little grain to thrown away glass, as that was horrendous to drink. And I shall see you all again next time, where hopefully I'll be making it properly. Well, properly. See you all again soon. Au revoir.